Hello, Bill Johnson here with Gus, the Groovy Bus. Well, the bus is getting a little groovier. My previous video, I talked about the Dometic cooler we installed with a dual zone freezer refrigerator, so we can serve cold refreshments and put our frozen foods in there for grilling. So that's working out real well on the slide. But the rest of the bay was going to be for the television. So I have upgraded from this television, which was actually pretty small when you step back and try to watch it, to this television, which is much bigger and better. And I had to figure out a way to mount that in this bay and make it convenient to get it in and out. I've discussed previously that this bay I've made my tool bay, and you've seen that in other videos. And it's not very deep because you have the fuel tank that basically takes up the center section of the bus in this area, a 208-gallon fuel tank. I think some of the buses have larger, but this one has 208 gallons, plastic tank. And I'm going to come back to the tank in a minute because it caused me some problems that I had not anticipated putting the mount to hold the TV in place. But I think it's a good upgrade, so that's what we have. Now the mount I used is a MORryde, I don't know, there you go, a MORryde TV mount, and they have a whole variety of mounts for all different types of configurations. They also make slides that go on your bus and the bays, so you can have slides to slide out if you need those or want to replace those, and they're very heavy duty. There's a channel changing lanes that really put me onto MORryde. They were talking about the slide they installed, but they also, I saw the television stands. So I ended up buying this particular mount, the TV40-011H, a horizontal slide out and swivel, 35-pound capacity. So we took it out of the box. It came in a box. I bought it on Amazon. I would not advise buying these on eBay. I tried to buy 2 of them on eBay resellers, and both of them canceled my order because whatever warehouse they use couldn't get the product. So if you're going to buy one of these, I would either go to Walmart.com or Amazon and buy it through them and not through eBay. So that's the mount I used. You can see it positioned here on the wall. So it's a horizontal slide out, and you can see how it slides out. And then it pivots in whatever direction you want it to pivot. I have it 90 degrees, obviously, at this point. Now, when I went to put this mount in place, I thought it was going to be an easy project. Just put some lag bolts through the plywood on the wall there, and off we go. Well, it didn't turn out to be so easy, because on the back side of this wall, and I think I can show you better in the tool bay, but on the back side of the wall, let me see if I can, let me stop this video for a second, and I'm going to open up the tool bay and show you why this became such a problem. Okay, here we are again. So in the tool bay, you'll notice you'll have that stainless steel enclosure for your fuel tank, and it comes out to about that position in this bay. Well, what I didn't anticipate, and it makes perfect sense, I should have thought through this better, is on the other side, which would be the end of the fuel tank, in about this area here back, there's a big stainless steel plate. So that plywood is only 1/4 inch thick. So when you try to put a screw through it, it just pushes the plywood out away from the wall. And clearly that plate is there to protect the fuel tank. So that became a problem. Let me put this door back down. while I'm here, you can see that you pivot the TV by simply pulling down on that handle and then swinging it around. There's several different locking positions for the television, up to 90 degrees, and you can swing it beyond 90 degrees if you choose to as well. I don't know if that came through very good. I apologize for the low quality here, but I'm not trying to win any awards. I'm just trying to convey information to hopefully be helpful to some of the other RVers and Prevost owners out there looking to do the same upgrade. Anyway, back to the fuel tank. So you have a big metal plate behind that wooden panel. So I took that panel off here. Behind there you have the generator squirrel cage motor that pulls air through the radiator. And then that gave me the ability to take that side panel off because it's kind of wedged back behind it. And I had to undo the screws. Actually, I had to pull the carpet off the side panel first. And then behind the carpet, there were screws that you could take the plywood panel off. So I did all of that, finally got it out of there. And then I used carriage bolts so I wouldn't have a lot protruding on the back side through to the front side. Positioned the mount, and you need to spend some time and really think through how you want to position the mount so that you have clearance for your television. You can clear that arm, which I almost made a mistake. I was worried so much about the TV, I didn't anticipate that slide needing to clear the mount. And you can see where I had to grind away just a little edge of that pivot arm. So it's not only the TV having to clear here, you got to make sure the slides clear the mount as well, since they're much closer in. So a lot to think about here to get it all set up properly. Luckily, I only had to grind just a little bit away and it works perfect. I wanted the TV to be up as high as possible. And that's as high as I could get it, again, without having issues with the arm. If I had mounted on this side, I wouldn't have the same problem because the arm is much different over here than it is there. But I wanted the TV more in the center of the bus, and that seemed to work out. So anyway, back to the mounting of this plate. Some carriage bolts, 1/4 inch carriage bolts, 1 inch long, locking nuts with some washers from the back side. Got it mounted. Well, I had it off. I put the carpet back on because you got to put the carpet on first now. And then I screwed the panel back to the wall here and here. Those are actually screws that was holding on the stainless steel plate on the back side. I left them off so that I could better support the plywood from the front side using existing holes. And then I put screws from the outside of the carpet back in the various positions they were before. I did add a couple of new ones. There's one there, you can see there's a crossbar that goes down through here that you can put a screw in as well, a self-tapping screw. So the plywood is held very well. It's very rigid. It's not going to come off that wall short of some major event. So that's how I finally mounted the plate. There are a couple of things I don't like about this particular slide, but there are not a lot of options to choose from. Frankly, I couldn't find another option in terms of a horizontal slide that was going to have the reach and do what I wanted to do. So I went ahead and went with MORryde, and it's a quality product. It's a heavy product. You saw the shipping weight. It can handle up to 35 pounds. With it extended, you can get a little bit of flex in the TV, but I think that's to be expected from any mount. And this is a fairly large television. What I don't like, and you'll see, I'll explain this in a moment, are these little clips right here. When the slide goes in, one set of slide has to clip in there, and then there's a lever arm that catches that to hold it all in place. And those clips are kind of hard to push into. And this level arm pinches your finger when you try to undo it. So let me show you. I'm going to try to show you how that works. I don't know if I can do it one-handed. But first I got to pivot my TV back around. So I'm going to pull that down. We're going to pivot. We're going to pivot the TV. Let me come around to the back side. Normally I would do this from the front. Okay, and we'll pivot the TV back to the horizontal position. Okay, and then you just simply push the television in. And at this point, it'll slide back to here. Now, you'll see that this isn't pushed all the way in. You got to push that in for the clip. What I've been doing is just pushing right there, and it slides in, slaps in that notch. But it takes a little bit of push to do it. And then this lever arm, I pick up on and slide it back in place. And now it's locked. It's not going anywhere. And that's what it looks like in the bay. Now, to prevent the moving back and forth going down the road, I use this pillow and I position it in the back vertically. Usually I would just have it in there and it would push back against it, but it would be vertically back in behind the television. So you see how it's wiggling now. Let me show you what happens after I put the pillow in there. And again, sorry about the quality of this video, but I hope you're getting the idea. So I put the pillow right there. And then I push the TV in, so the pillow provides a little bit of resistance. And now you'll see it just dampens and it doesn't keep on wiggling. So just a very simple solution. And again, I don't think that's necessarily MORryde's failure in their design. It's just a big TV. And probably anything you have will have that issue, but a simple pillow solves the problem nicely. Now back to what I don't like is this little lever. You have to pick that up. When you pick that up, this plate wants to slide out. So if you pick it up from this side, you're going to pinch your finger. You pick it up from that side, you don't have much time to get your finger out of the way. So I wish they had made that arm longer. I may extend it with some kind of bolt with a nut on the back side and make it longer, but that will certainly, there's a pinch point right there. I hope you can see it. Right there between that lever arm and you'll get your finger right in there and you lift up that, or you're doing it sideways and you lift that up, you can pinch your finger. So I don't particularly care for that. That arm needs to be longer to give you time to get out of the way. And then I don't like the way it clips in that second rail. That's one thing. Now, let me pull this out and you'll see. So right there, it's sliding, and then you got to kind of give it a little bump to get it to come out of these clips. They pull out easier than they push in, so I wish that was a little smoother than what it is. And again, you can pivot this around. And then once I get it, you know, that's fully extended right there. So you can see how much room I have. I can pivot it more this way if I want, or the other way. But what I will do now is just push it back in against the bus, so it's not out in the middle of places where people might trip on it or whatever. I can still get to the cooler very easily. I have it turned off now, but the cooler is accessible. So Gus, the groovy bus, is getting groovier now that we have some nice television action going on. And we got the cooler as well. Again, the MORryde mount, certainly a good mount. A couple of negatives, but overall, I think it's going to fit my need extremely well. Thanks for watching and have a great day.